Hey, good morning and happy Saturday, everyone. Today, Caitlin and I will go over first time buyer mistakes to avoid. And before we get started, definitely going to introduce ourselves. My name is Pierre Ard, and I've been with Mr. Cooper for roughly 10 years, primarily on the servicing side. One great thing about Mr. Cooper Group is that we are the third largest non-banking mortgage servicer in the country. So it's really great, and it's great to be here with you all as well. I'm going to take it over to my partner, Caitlin, so she can introduce herself as well.
Well, thanks so much, Pierre. As you can see, my name is Caitlin Curran. I actually have been with Mr. Cooper for about 3 years now, and I support our origination side of the business. So that primarily focuses on first time home buyers, it focuses on refinance. We've got about 4 billion, or four, excuse me, 4 million loans in our portfolio. So we've got quite a few loans. So I think we're we know a lot about loans. We know a lot about mortgages. But just before we get started, wanted to give you a little bit more of a view on what the Zoom features are here. If you have any questions about any of the material that we're going over or any questions about Habitat for Humanity, go ahead and put them in the Q&A section of the chat. And we actually have a team here dedicated to making sure that we're capturing your questions. And we'll have enough time at the end of the presentation to be able to answer some of those. I'm sure that you guys are all chomping at the bit to really learn some more of this information. So I'm actually going to pass it back over to Pierre, and he is going to start with some pro tips.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. And definitely let's hop into it, team. I see you popping in the chat. I love to see the interaction. That's what we love to see. So let's go into our first mistake. And what is that first mistake? It's shopping for a home before shopping for a mortgage. So why does this matter? Now, I know me personally, I know that I love looking for homes before actually getting pre-qualified. But without pre-qualification, you don't know your purchase power. And ultimately, you may set yourself up for disappointment. So let me paint the picture. So let's say you see your dream home. This has happened to me, y'all. I'm speaking from experience. Let's say you see your dream home and you fall in love with it. There could be 5 to 10 other potential buyers looking at that same home. Those 5 to 10 buyers, they may already be pre-qualified. They may already have cash in hand. With you being pre-qualified, that gives you the opportunity to participate in that race in getting that home. And also, if you're pre-qualified, it lets you know what you can expect from a price range perspective, right? I can get a home, maybe I can get a home in the 200,000 to 300,000 price range based on my pre-qualification. So I know what to look for. I know what to set my sights on. And in some cases, realtors, they often won't show homes to buyers who aren't pre-qualified. The reason being is because they want to ensure that they're able to get that person in the home. And if they're not pre-qualified, there's not too much they can do for them. Now let's talk about some pro tips. First up, talk to a housing counselor or mortgage professional to understand your affordability. Most importantly, get pre-qualified. Get pre-qualified. Now, another reason why you want to get pre-qualified is because it will allow you to see what you are comfortable paying. Whenever you're getting pre-qualified for a mortgage loan, yes, you have to equate for the principal and interest payment, but you also want to consider the escrow payment. That's if your account is escrowed. Because once you go into a home, Most mortgage companies, they're going to require you to maintain homeowners insurance. And once you own a property, you're going to have to start paying property taxes. So you may want to equate that in your monthly mortgage payment. So you want to take that into consideration as well. And don't be shy about your budget. Be honest and upfront. Let that realtor or mortgage professional know what you are comfortable paying. That's what I do. So let's talk about mistake number two, right? And mistake number two is not exploring all of your available mortgage options. Why does it matter? It pays to shop around. This is no different than shopping for a car. Why go with the first approval that you receive? I recently just got a car loan, earlier this year, so I can relate to that. I shopped around and it was a difference of $100 a month in my monthly payment. So, like your mortgage, shop around. Cost, they may vary between lenders. Certain lenders may offer lower interest rates, discount on certain fees, discounts on closing costs, a discount on the required payment or different required payment requirements, etc. Now, get this, buyers who shop their loans save an average of $450 a year in interest. I don't know about you all, but I'm looking for a PlayStation 5 this year. So, that can help me get that PlayStation 5. So let's talk about some pro tips. Some things, how to avoid, not shopping around. Mortgage applications made within a 45-day window count as one inquiry. That is one credit pool on your credit. So what does that mean? That means that if you're shopping around with seven different lenders, those seven different lenders can do a credit pool within that 45-day window, and it does not go against your credit. It's only going to count as one hard pool between those seven lenders. So why not? Know your options. You can get pre-qualified. It is simple. You can do it online or over the phone with many lenders. It may take a day or so. Now, also using a loan comparison worksheet to easily compare costs. Now, you can find loan comparison tools and worksheets online if you're not sure what factors to consider. And also, housing counselors, like those at Dallas Habitat, who are knowledgeable and who can help you find and consider all of your available options. These professionals are independent and, most importantly, they are unbiased advisors who will serve you in your best interest. So, to learn more about housing counseling, be sure to join Habitat's breakout session later this afternoon. And let's hop into our third mistake. That's missing out on first time buyer programs. Team, we're talking about free money here. Free money. So, why does this matter? Well, you're only a first time buyer once, in a sense, sort of. Too many first time buyers assume that they need 10 to 20% saved for a down payment, but that's simply not true. It's not true. First time buyer products can save you tens of thousands of dollars, both in upfront costs and over the life of your mortgage. So first time buyer products includes mortgages with down payment requirements as low as 3%, down payment assistance programs, at the state, city, and private level. Now, to learn more about first time loan products and down payment assistance programs, be sure to check out some of the sessions today. Last but not least, according to HUD, if you have not owned a home in the last 3 years, guess what? You are considered a first time home buyer. Hey, and therefore you're eligible for these programs. Now let's get into some pro tips. Do your research. There are many programs, but requirements do vary. Also, ask your lender if they offer any special loan programs to first time buyers. Do not be shy. Speak up. I'm telling you that. Speak up. At the end of the day, this is your financial investment. This is how much money that you're going to put into a home. Speak up. Ask for these specific programs. Shop around with lenders who can help you access down payment assistance funds. Also consider FHA, VA, USDA loan options. Now, the beautiful thing about that is that we do have investors and we also do have lenders who may not require, that significant amount of a down payment up front. But in turn, what that may mean is that they may suggest, or they may not suggest, they may offer you private mortgage insurance. And private mortgage insurance is mortgage insurance that is designed to keep our investors and our lenders, in the safe pocket in the event that the home does go into, a foreclosure status per se. It is designed as a risk mitigating tool for the investors and the lenders alike. So with some of these investors and with some of the lenders, if you don't have, the funds to put down, that's 20%, 5%, they may say, okay, well, that's fine. What we're going to do is add private mortgage insurance to your account, and that will be a part of your monthly payment. And it's a good thing, right? I don't know about you all, but me personally, I don't want to put down anything. I'm a little bit cheap. I'm sorry. I like investing in games and things of that nature. So, but it's also designed to protect the lender as well in the investor. And without further ado, we're going to go into mistake number 4 with Miss Caitlin Curran.
Woo! Pierre is spitting out facts this morning. Thank you so much for handing this over to me. So, mistake number 4. A common mistake that home buyers experience is actually changing their financial situation after they've secured a pre-qualification and are under contract. So what do we actually mean by changing your financial situation? In this event, changing your financial situation could look like a change in your employment. It could look like a change in taking on new debts. So not only can changing your employer or job risk a denial of your loan, but it also could change how you move forward if you do need, for instance, to go back and do your loan again. You might have to go back and do another pre-qualification. So even changing the way that you're paid. For instance, if you are paid salaried, or if you change to a commission-based salary, this could also risk a denial of your loan as well. So be really mindful of that. So make sure to maintain your financial situation all the way from pre-approval to closing. Making any types of financial changes could jeopardize everything that you've been working so hard for in this process up until this point. So changing any of these factors could result in higher interest rates or pushing out your closing farther than you had anticipated. And again, it could even result in a denial of your loan. So I have seen potential buyers. One of the folks I was working with, he actually purchased a car the week that he was supposed to close. And typically what lenders will do is right before closing, lenders will go and check to make sure you've not added any other additional debts to your financial circumstances. And in this case, this individual buying a car ended up with a loan denial for him and the house fell through. So even if you've not even been denied due to any of these financial situation changes, they could also result in incurring costs that you were not anticipating as well. For instance, most lenders will have you pay an upfront appraisal fee if an appraisal is needed. So in that case, if your loan is denied, you will still have paid X amount of dollars to have that appraisal done. So be sure to be careful with that financial situation of yours, and just maintaining as much as possible. So moral of the story is make sure to change any, or excuse me, not change, but share any income or credit changes with your lender. They want your home ownership goals to come to fruition as well. So keep your lender informed every step of the way. So you can see some of these pro tips that are coming at you hot on the screen. So once you get pre-approved, try to keep everything the same in your financial situation. Maintain the same type of employment that you've received on your pre-approval. And most of all, don't touch your credit. Avoid trying to take out any new credit cards or purchasing a new car. Typically, what you'll find is the higher your credit score is, the more favorable your loan pricing will be. So I am guilty of this. It is tempting to want to start buying new furniture for your new home before you move in. I'm already imagining, where do I want to put this couch, and how do I want to decorate this part of the room? So I know as soon as I fall in love with the house, that's what I'm thinking of immediately. But hold on. You want to make sure that you don't take on any new debt or spend money that you potentially have set aside for upfront closing costs. So keep in mind that this period of time between going under contract with your new home and closing, it's temporary. Just hang tight on that period of time. The waiting period of closing on a house is around 30 to 45 to 60 days. You can do it. So just hang tight. Okay, great. And the last mistake is underestimating the cost of home ownership. So in this mistake, what we have found is, owning a home is a huge responsibility, financially and otherwise. It's one of the largest assets that you will ever possibly have. So home ownership is all about freedom and not being known as what's called house poor. So you might want to find out what your mortgage payment will cost you and start factoring in all of these other types of expenses that you will have to incur on your own. There's a huge difference between renting and owning a home. So you are responsible for the maintenance. You are responsible for the property taxes and the homeowner's insurance. If your property is located in an HOA, you're responsible for those fees too. And typically what happens is the homes that you are purchasing have a larger square footage. And in that case, your utility bills might be much higher than you anticipated. So most of all, this age-old saying, which I actually think that they made this up for home purchases, was expect the unexpected. So whether this is, a crazy ice storm in Texas and you've got to fix your roof and you've got to fix your water heater, make sure that you're making room in your budget for the unexpected. So our last pro tips of the day: make sure to budget for the unexpected. Save early and save often. And especially when you're renting a home, make sure that you understand that those things that you might not have to pay for now, you are going to be responsible when you purchase a home. So in this case, I would think of this: if I had a major repair within 30 days, could I afford it? And factor that into your budget. Consider the lifestyle that you want to live. Do you want to take vacation with your family, or do you have other financial goals like paying for your child's college? Make sure that you're budgeting in those expenses when you are trying to purchase a home. That could go into what type of home and purchase price that you're looking for. And that, my friends, are all of the pro tips that we have for you from Mr. Cooper Group, from the origination side to the servicing side, for purchasing a new home. So we've got about 5 minutes left. And we are looking at some questions to answer from you.
Yep. Thank you so much, Caitlin. Excellent job. And I see. I'll grab the first two questions. So, looks like the first question is there one that's better than the other? FHA, USDA. Well, it really depends on which investor works best for you. I would say that there's not one that is better than the other, but they do have different requirements. But at the end of the day, those investors are there to work best for you. So the investor that your lender chooses to go through based upon your qualifications, they'll be able to assist you and that'll be the right choice for you. So the second question that we see are HOA fees something first time homeowners have to worry about? It depends. So HOA is something that is dependent upon the area that you live in, the property that you live in. There are certain subdivisions that do require that you pay HOA dues. And with HOA dues, they really just ensure that you are upkeeping the property, you are abiding by certain guidelines, and mostly you'll see HOA communities that have like a community pool and things of that nature that you have to pay for. So it really just depends on what subdivision your home is built on and what company that you go through with in that neighborhood that will determine if you'll be paying HOA fees or not, because not everyone pays HOA fees.
That's true. Great stuff. So I will take the next question from Candace. So, would a contract job impact your chances of being approved for a loan? So, Candace, that's a great question. It really does depend on how long you've been in that role. So, for instance, what we look for as a lender, and all lenders will, is they're going to look at a 2-year history of what you've been making in that job. So, if you've had changes over time, it's hard for lenders to get a grip on how you'll be able to afford this new monthly payment. So, in some cases, being a contractor is not, that won't affect your ability to be approved for a loan at all. And it also does depend on the investor. And when we say investor, we're talking about Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, we're talking about FHA, VA, and USDA. But that's a really good question. And I see, is there a checklist that is available for what we need to have ready for a pre-approval process? Yes, I know that there are definitely some checklists out there. I would go to the web and type in what I need to have before purchasing a home. And I actually do think that Habitat for Humanity does have some of those resources available for you. Great question. And I'll take these other two. So Celestine, what is the best way to search for a mortgage lender? Great question. So this is where you would definitely want to check out what fees. Some people charge different origination fees across lenders. So I would definitely just start going to Google and searching. For instance, if you are interested in USDA loans, you can look for which lenders provide USDA loans. And you can also see what fees they typically charge. Great question. And I see, Natasha, I applied for a USDA loan at the end of March of this year, but still haven't gotten a pre-approval. How long does that take? So that's a great question too, Natasha. And I'm not quite sure what your situation is. It could be something on your financial situation, but it also could be that USDA is specialized in working with rural housing, and they work with specific areas, and especially for different income statuses. So it could be that they are just checking to make sure that you are qualified and can get a loan through them. So I would just be patient and hang tight, but great question. Is a 641 credit score good for a loan? Ebony, I see your question there. I know we've got about 30 seconds left. And I will say it just depends on your lender. It depends on what your lender is willing to take on. So that it could depend.
Yeah. And with that being said, we want to thank you all for attending our session. Thank you so much. Definitely hope that we were able to, provide you with a little bit of information today. Again, Caitlin Curran, Pierre Ard, Dallas Habitat for Humanity. Hope you all have a great day, great Saturday morning, and y'all have a great one.
Thank you all so much.
I see something from Lutrina Brooks, and I apologize if I mispronounced your name, but unfortunately, the session is over to make room for other sessions that's going on in the day. However, if you do have any other questions or things of that nature, there is a virtual exhibitor hall, and where they will have Q&A sessions, and they can answer any questions that you may have, or maybe even go over some things that you could have missed out on today. Oh, so where you go now, I would say go back to the main link, to the main Zoom link, and determine which breakout session that you're going to go to. I would definitely follow the agenda. Follow the agenda that was given to you. And with that agenda, there should be certain links. Um, but with that being said, team, about to go ahead and make my graceful exit. Hope you all have a great day. Peace out.